Let's start her up with the big re-signing there. Darius Slayton back with the Giants, and it looked like, just a couple of days ago that probably wasn't going to happen. There was all kinds of rumors that Slayton wanted to sign on with a contender. He wanted a chance to win for the first time in his career. Let's be honest. He's been on the Giants, hasn't had much chance to win. But apparently that went away because today he signed a 3-year, $36 million deal. And I know a lot of people are already ripping on this because $12 million. Who else wanted $12 million? Oh, yeah, Saquon Barkley. So that's been like the shot there. You hear in Giants Twitter and all the Giant fans right now talking about that. Why would you give it to him and not give it to Saquon Barkley? Saquon Barkley's a better player overall. Well, it's because that's the positional value. It's a very simple answer there. Like it or not, wide receivers get paid more than running backs do. $12 million to be a top end contract, obviously, for a running back, but for a wide receiver, it's like a third wide receiver nowadays. You get wide receivers making $30 million a year. And Slayton's nowhere near worth that, obviously, but he's worth the $12 million a year based on what other receivers are getting. That's the important caveat to that. Is he worth $12 million a year overall? Probably not. Receivers are inflated right now. That's more of the more expensive positions. Based on what people are getting paid, he's worth it. And it's interesting because he's coming off of literally his worst season overall. 39 catches, 573 yards, 2 touchdowns. But guys, look what he had to work with last year. Look what he had. Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito. Can you sit there and really say that we gave him a chance to shine? We couldn't get the ball downfield. What is Slayton's best asset? His speed and getting open deep down the field. Now, you could knock his hands. He's had some issues with some drops, obviously, over his career. But I love the fact that Slayton is staying with the New York Giants, guys. I really do. Like, I've said it before in the show, and I will say it again. I think that he is one of the most underrated Giants players of all time. Definitely the most current. We did this last year. We talked about him. But let's do this again. Right now, Darius Slayton is sitting 18th overall, guys. 18th in Giants history. 100 years of most receiving yards in Giants history. He's at 37.68. Now, most seasons he's getting about 700 yards. That's, a decent season, I think, for most people. If he was to do 700 yards, that would put him ahead of guys like Lionel Manuel, Sterling Shepard, Jeremy Shockey, Aaron Thomas, Bob Tucker. It would put him just shy of Victor Cruz in just one more year, guys. 2 more years. So he gets about 1,400 yards there, hypothetically. Okay. I'm going to do a little math here. Puts him about 5,400 yards. That puts him top 5, guys, in Giants history with just 2 more seasons doing what he's already been doing. And I do think that this is a good move because he pairs well with Malik Neighbors. He does the complete opposite of what everybody else does on the field. Not just even Neighbors, but also Wan'Dale Robinson. Who is our deep threat guys without him? Jalen Hyatt? Jalen Hyatt couldn't catch a cold. That man could not run around if his life depended on it. And I hate to say it that way. We all had some high hopes for him. We want to root for everybody who is a Giant, obviously. That's just par for the course of being a fan. Rob and I called it out when this first happened. We first went ahead and drafted him. We said, Jalen Hyatt is a one-trick pony. It's a good trick, but it's one trick. That's the exact thing we said when we signed him. Well, that's proven to be true. He's a deep threat who can't run NFL routes, can't get off press coverage, and can't get open. Slayton can get open. Does he have the occasional issue with drops? Yes. But let's be honest, guys. If Slayton didn't have the drops issues, he'd be an 900 yard guy, not a 700 yard guy. Maybe 800. Maybe I'm over embellishing. Let's say 800 yards. How many receivers do you know do 700 or 800 yards a season, though, on a consistent basis? Obviously, the stars. You're putting in the big names you can give me. There's a value. There's not a lot of guys who are that B tier kind of receiver that does what Slayton does. And my biggest thing why I'm so glad we're getting Slayton back again with the Giants, like him or not, Slayton's the leader. Look at all the players we've had leave. Xavier McKinney, we've had Julian Love leave, Leonard Williams leave. All these guys who were big time leaders in this locker room, gone. Saquon Barkley on offense, big time leader, gone. Daniel Jones, again, love him or hate him, and I know a lot of us hate him because it's not his fault, but it's because he's left as the quarterback for too long. Was a big time leader in that locker room. We're losing leaders at a huge pace. Huge pace. Darius Slayton is leader. And I'm very, very glad to see that he's getting the chance here to continue with the Giants. Take his place as, like I said, at the very least, probably next year or two, a top 10, if not a top 5 Giants receiver as far as reception yards. That's a big deal. It's a big franchise move at that point. We're not the team that doesn't have any decent receivers over the years, guys. Have we had a ton? No, I'm not going to say that. 100 years, though, we've had some decent guys. And like I said, I'm very, very glad to see Slayton stick around. I think he's a good mentor for Neighbors as well. Neighbors actually has mentioned that. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Neighbors has mentioned point blank how him and Darius Slayton talk, go over routes, discuss coverages, watch film together. Darius Slayton has turned into that guy in that receiving room. And you need that. So glad to see him stick around. And I'm glad to see that we didn't, trade him like a lot of people wanted. It's like I said, it's a good move. Is it earth changing? Is it life changing? Is it franchise saving? No. But not everything has to be. Sometimes it's just solid moves. And that's what this is. It's just a solid move, guys. So Anthony says, bye-bye Hyatt. And yeah, I'm not so sure if it's bye-bye Hyatt or not, but I think Hyatt at least gets to go through camp. But guys, I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to give up on Hyatt personally. I am done. He's had 2 years. He hasn't even got a single touchdown yet. Hasn't shown any growth whatsoever. He regressed, if anything, in year 2. Maybe you give it to him, like I said, you give it to him this training camp and see if he does a little better. Depending on who we get a quarterback, obviously that's a big deciding factor, and maybe helping him. But yeah, Anthony says also Slayton's worst year because he had to share the field with Neighbors as well, which is a very valid point. For most of his career, if not all of it, really, Slayton has been the number 1 receiver on the Giants because they just haven't had another receiver. Just flat out haven't. Look at all the catches Wan'Dale Robinson got last year as well. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Wan'Dale Robinson is probably a 100 catch guy. The offense kind of killed his yardage overall because, couldn't get him into a good spot. But, I think to get a guy for $12 million a year who's your wide receiver 3, which is where Slayton is now, not a bad move at all. Not a bad move at all. So, no names is I can't believe Darnold. Oh, we'll talk about Darnold a little bit there. Let's see here. Pale Riders, I find it difficult to be excited about anything this team does. Yeah. Until you get some wins, I don't blame you. I really don't. Without the wins, it's all pointless there. Absolutely pointless. You need the wins. But I think Slayton is a good move overall for us. And I'm trying to look at more like the good move, bad move kind of thing. Because it's a guy we need to keep. So let's see what happens with Ojulari still. But at least we got Slayton sticking around here. So
if you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.